Another player that we absolutely have to touch on is the man wearing the 12 jersey. How outstanding was Jordie Barrett?
That is one in a line of many great performances from Jordie Barrett. He seems to be in this zone at the moment where every time he touches the ball, he's got complete clarity on what decision he's going to make and has the ability to work things out. But his attributes are fantastic. He's obviously tall, has the ability to distribute. When it comes into the tackle, he does have the ability to get low, but he was also making decisive strip plays within those tackles and making sure that even if he didn't get the strip, he was still slowing down the ball so that the ball carrier had to make a decisive place, and he was able to get 5 turnovers and 4 of those at the breakdown. So he's getting over the ball.
Outrageous.
And that's a big thing in the All Blacks DNA at the moment, and something that's probably come from Super Rugby is a lot of players within the team being quite good over the ball. Like Quinn Tupaia is great over the ball as well. He's typically a 12, but playing at 13. Will Jordan got a decisive turnover on Saturday on a second effort. The first effort he didn't get, but then he went back again for a repeat effort and won the penalty. So no matter what number the players have on their back at the moment, being good over the ball seems to be within the All Blacks game plan. And Jordie Barrett is making people around him even better. Like, you can tell the influence that he's having on likes of Ruben Love. When you've got a guy outside you like Jordie Barrett and a guy inside you like Cam Roigard, whether you've played 8 games or 80 games, you've got this sense of, okay, I know I'm covered either side of me, and I can just play the role that I need to play. He knows where Jordie's going to be. They're communicating in. I think it's coming together really nicely, and that combination that he's building with Quinn Tupaia is 5 or 6 games in. That will only continue to get better, and I'll be interested to see how the Springboks test them on Saturday night, given that they're going to have Diolande and Creel back in that 12-13 jersey. That was a matchup that I was really looking forward to in the first test, and it didn't quite come to fruition because of the changes that were made so early in the game. But that midfield matchup, especially if it's going to be tight, greasy conditions, they're 4 of the best players in the world in those positions, and it's going to be a fantastic contest to see Jordie go up against Diolande, who's just played his 100th test.
Yeah, really balanced combination. It's proven to be there as well. Both Tupaia and Barrett, quite similar players, quite similar attributes. Big guys, very skillful with the ball in hand, great over the ball at the breakdown, but also the kicking game that we saw as well. They don't kick aimlessly. What they tend to do is, like, they get the ball into those wider channels and then they go either along the ground or they find the spaces. That 50-22 by Quinn Tupaia was a pivotal moment again. I think they'd just been defending quite rigorously for that period beforehand. They'd just come off the back of, I think it might have been shortly after Will Jordan's turnover, where they had to track back and win the ball. I might be mistaken there, but they just released the pressure valve. And then to go wide and for Quinn Tupaia to go a 50-22, your forwards must love that. Like, they've put in a huge shift and it's getting deep into the game, and you've got a line out in the Springbok 22 almost out of nothing. But to go back to Jordie Barrett, surely got to be a contender for World Player of the Year the way he's playing. He is, there's just no weakness in what he has in his game. He's a great tackler. That strip on Max was reminiscent of the one in the 2023 quarterfinal on Ronan Kelleher, where he got under the ball to pretty much save New Zealand's World Cup. He turns up in these pivotal moments and adds unbelievable value. And he just seems to be a leader that, like, the All Blacks now turn to, and he's becoming, I'm not going to say Ardie-esque because Ardie's a spiritual leader, but he's a guy that, like, you can really turn to and feel like, okay, we're going to be okay. We got Jordie there, you know? And the guy has been just outstanding this year.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic 12 months. He also pulled off a very similar try-saving tackle against Cheslin Colby in Wellington last year when he looked like he had every right to score. So he just has that habit of getting in there, making sure that he's doing whatever he can to avoid conceding the try. And I thought his strip on Jasper Visa when he came around the corner off the line out just before halftime with a minute to play, both of those was so pivotal because New Zealand was down by 1 point. If South Africa had scored off either one of those players or those instances, then they would have gone in with a much stronger deficit than 1 point, potentially 6, maybe 8. And that's a long way to come back from when the tank's feeling pretty empty going in at halftime at Ellis Park. So making those pivotal plays in really key moments just definitely influences the outcome for the All Blacks. And they look to that, they see the leadership, and I think they're really happy to have a guy like Jordie Barrett wearing the number 12 jersey. So long may it continue.